All right. Hi, everyone. I did get a question about how to polish the brass, the hardware on Louis Vuitton, and luckily I just got a bag for the rehab, so I will be able to actually show what you can do with the polishing tools that I have. I have two ways to polish the brass. So I either use Bresso. So I purchased it at Home Depot. I want to say it was around $7, and it lasts you for a very long time. Just FYI, it has a strong ammonia smell, so you need to read the instructions first before using it and even buying it probably. Just consider your own levels of sensitivity. I'm gonna show it to you how I'm using it on polishing projects. The thing is that you have to be aware of is that you can't really, it can't get to leather or monogram canvas, or if like applying it to some other bag. Just make sure, you kind of separate the area that you're trying to clean with it. So I'm gonna show you. So for example, you need to be like super careful when you're doing it, but in my case, this bag is for rehab, so leather will be painted over, so it doesn't matter to me that the stains would stay, but I want you to show what it's gonna look like after you clean it. So with the lock, it's a little bit easier because it's not touching anything else, but sometimes you have locks attached to bags without the keys, so you need to make sure you're very careful. What I do after I apply Brasso to brass, I actually wash that area with the water. You don't want to have anything left on the hardware after you're done. So you just need to pretty much clean it with the paper towel. Make sure you're wearing gloves. It does have a strong smell of ammonia, so just be aware. So that's what it looks like after I cleaned it. So it's definitely shiny, and it looks, I don't want to say brand new, but at least it looks cleaner and shinier, which is more pretty on bags. And I will wash it with the water so it doesn't stay. That's what happens. It gets inside, and you don't want it to be inside. Definitely want it to be clean all the way. And you can actually compare the color that it was before, so you can see, hopefully, that the lock is darker in color than, the key is darker in color than the lock, and it's not as shiny. So we'll clean the key as well. So going back to the bag, so yes, we were able to polish the hardware, but this is what happens to leather around it. So please be careful not to damage the leather. If you're not trying to repaint the leather part, then you shouldn't be, that's what it looks like, then you shouldn't be touching the leather at all. But I don't have to be careful in this case because this is a rehab bag, so it will be painted over, and you can actually compare the two. So look how much better this one looks. And here too, and actually because I'm gonna be sanding the leather, and then later I will be washing the bag. What I'm doing, I'm just like wiping all the leftovers after sanding off with the wet cloth, so it will be clean. Definitely it will be cleaner than it is right now, but you can see the difference for sure. You can see how shiny it is. Another thing that I actually use the sanding block, just a regular sanding block, and I try to use the one that's been used previously, so it's not as rough. What I do, for example, here, let's see how tarnished the hardware looks. So we can just sand it a little bit. Just make sure it's not that rough. I want to say that the grit that I chose was about 80. Unfortunately, I haven't saved the label on it. No, I just kind of, just approximate things at this point. So it's just like using Brasso over here is a little bit harder to get rid of the tarnished look, and I figured that a little bit of sanding would help. So that's how I will be sanding it. And definitely, you know, just make sure you don't touch the monogram because you don't want it to be scratched. And then I would probably use just a little bit of Brestle. Definitely the strong smell. Okay, you can see how dark it is still, even after sanding. And again, like with older bags, you can only do this much without damaging the purse. It would still look better, it would look cleaner, but it really starts tarnishing like within the first 2 years of even buying a brand new purse. So you just kind of, you know, take it easy. It's not that bad. So why don't we take a closer look what it looks like right now. It definitely looks better. So later I will just do a little more here on the sides, but let's compare how the two look. Unfortunately, I put a little bit of tape here in preparation for the cleaning, but we can still see, look how different they look. This one was actually polished, and this one hasn't been polished, and look at the stains and the tarnished look. So that's the difference. All right, well, please tell me what other questions you might have. I'll be happy to answer them if I can, but that's all for today.